I want you to know something very profound. Your thoughts don't attract nor manifest. Your thoughts literally give you the ability to see. We have the ability to see through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our emotions, and through our senses. Not only does our physical senses give us the ability to hear God, it also gives us the ability to see like God. Now, this is the important component of understanding how to manifest, that all of your being in your natural reality is made in the image and likeness of God, meaning all of you screams of the existence of God. Every part of you has a voice. Every part of you has an eye. Every part of you has a sense. That means your feelings have an eye. It has a sense. It has an emotion, right? That's all attached as one being. See, the important part of learning to manifest like God is understanding that the Spirit of God is connected to every part of your being. Your eyes, your ears, your smell, your taste. Every part of your sense is connected. See, the senses are connected to the mind. The mind's connected to the body. The body's connected to the emotions and feelings and the will and the desires and the choices. Everything we make are connected. But the moment we think that we're not connected is the moment that we get tricked into another identity. See, in any identity that we see out of the reality of the Creator in us, the hope of glory. See, we are created as divine. We are created in the Spirit of God, in the Spirit of Christ Jesus as one new man. When we come into the reality to understand there is no you outside of Christ and there's no Christ outside of you, you'll be able to go within yourself to discover the Christ in you. And when you discover the Christ in you, what will happen, according to the Christian Bible, it says in Romans 11:36 that it comes from Him, through Him, and back to Him. See, the key to manifesting is understanding the seed of the Spirit in you identifies you. It's no longer I who live, but it's Christ who lives in me. Question you've got to ask yourself is, who is me? When you understand who me is as Christ, as an anointed one, as the chosen one, and you begin to see all of you from Him, you'll begin to articulate your life from Him. Meaning, everything that you see out here, you'll see in Him. You'll see in the Spirit. You'll see no man after the carnal flesh, but after the reality of the Spirit. Why? Is because you're seeing from God. But if we're looking at God, or we're looking at the divine, and we're trying to manifest from the thing that we need, what we're doing is we're looking from the outside in. The key is here is that we understand we are the inside looking out. We are in Christ, in God, in the Spirit, right? So we're manifesting from God, through God, and we know that everything comes back to God. See, this gives us the peace of understanding the process of manifesting, that we can have joy in the process. See, the process is the beautiful part of discovering who oneself is. What I want to challenge you to do is to stop thinking of a self outside of Christ. I want to encourage you to stop trying to mentally commit suicide on a daily basis by mentally dying to a self that Christ is trying to get you to realize that in Him you have your being, and you move, and your substance is identified as, right? So we understand that it's in Him we have our being. We live and we move in Him. Meaning in Him is who me is. Who is me? It's Christ. It's the anointed one. What part of you is the anointed one? Well, you become one spirit with Him. So that part, yes. You become one body with Him. So that's physically and emotionally. If you're not settled in that and you don't know that, which maybe you don't know, so that's why I'm here explaining. It's Christ in you. Now you know Christ is in you. So how do we manifest? Well, the key to manifesting is connecting what you know to use and exercise. See, for an example here, it's not your thoughts that manifest things, right? It's your thoughts that allow you to see. And what you see, you will make plain on paper. This is why I say it's so important that you write things down on paper, because what you see in your beautiful human imagination, in the spirit of your mind, in the reference point of your mind, you make known on paper. When you make it known on paper, guess what happens? You produce life to it. You've taken from the spirit of your imagination, from the spirit of God in you, you've seen what the Father says according to Habakkuk 2, 1 and 2. It says, wait and see, and write down and make it plain that not only you, but others can run with it. Well, see, what happens is when you see in your beautiful human imagination, which everything in the world, as we know, has been created from the beautiful human imagination. Everything has been created in the first 5 days by God, by the Spirit, meaning it's already there. It's already attracted. Right? We're not trying to attract anything. We're simply coming into agreement with what's already been attracted, what's already been manifested, that we live from the place. We live from the Spirit into creation, which is already attracted in God. It's already created in God. And in everything in God always magnetizes back to its creator. Well, we are co-equal right shareholders with Christ. We are co-creators with him. We have partnered. The Spirit has partnered as one spirit. The flesh has partnered as one flesh. The bone has partnered as one bone. You become one new man, one new creation, one new humanity. When you unlock this revelation in your mind, it allows us to begin the process of manifesting like God. God doesn't manifest from something he hopes will happen. God manifests from who he is. We manifest the same way. We're not attracting something we don't have. We're attracting what it is we create. God created, and everything he created produces fruits, right? Is there a season? Is there a time? Of course. If you plant a seed in the ground, it takes X amount of time for it to produce a vine, and then it produces branches, and then eventually a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, bam, there's the fruit. Well, sometimes it manifests really fast. Sometimes it takes time. But the key part here is we understand who we are, that we can find joy in the process of manifesting. And we're never manifesting from an outside orphan perspective and hopes that will happen. It's kind of like this. The world's conception of manifesting, let's just say you want a promotion at your job. The conception is if I work hard and I do enough good things, which are all good, that I will manifest what it is I want. Well, at the end of the day, that is the reality of the world, that it works hard to get something, right? At the end of the day, from Christ's perspective, we manifest from what the work of God. See, God did the work in the first 5 days, created everything that the human needed, created humanity on day 6 that we can manifest from the things that God created in the first 5 days. So what does that give us the ability to do? Well, we were created on day 6 to rest in God on day 7. What are we resting? We're resting in the finished work that God has provided everything. We're just co-creating with him, right? So we're in the process. So when we understand what we're in, that we're in God, that all of us are in God, we manifest from God, we speak into existence, right? We lay the seed, and the seed goes into its creation that God has already manifested. You understand, the beautiful cell phones that we have and all the cool things that we have in this world has been created from dirt, right? Everything comes from dirt. Human imagination created from dirt. Everything we see in a tree comes from dirt, right? We see rocks come from dirt. Iron comes from dirt. Wires come from dirt. Your cell phone comes from dirt. Your car comes from dirt. Everything comes from dirt, right? So God even created humanity from dirt. Everything comes from that place. Everything manifests from that place. So God can take those things that look like nothing and look like dirt, and he can turn it into something beautiful. This is our ability to co-create with God, as God, by God, and through God. So with this said, what happens is we come into agreement. with our divine mind in the Spirit of God that connects with God, and we have the ability to release like God. We release as God, and it goes into the realities of God's creation that's already manifested. And in the process, we can have joy as the fruits come back to manifest from the seed. See, if you plant a seed, understand, if I plant an apple seed, I put it into the ground, the seed metamorphoses into a root, into a vine. Now the seed has disappeared, it become a root, it becomes something cool, right? It become founded, it came into its ground zero, it came into its foundation, then it produces the root, and it builds a solid structure, and then it produces the branches, and then it produces the fruit, right? Well, if I produce an apple seed, it creates the tree. Where's the seed at? It's in the fruit. It begins with God and it ends with God. We are the manifestation of God. So we co-create like God. We plant the seed in creation and it manifests what it is. So the idea here is manifestation. It comes from the seed. Meaning this, your thoughts don't necessarily manifest. Your thoughts give you the ability to see. Your senses give you the ability to see. It gives you the ability to feel. When you create an identity, a seed of the identity of the divine Godhead in you, the hope of glory, you allow the process to grow in every area of your life from the seed. Meaning everything you see is a thought that gives you the ability to see the seed in the thought. Then you have the ability to create from that thought by what? Taking action. So this is the key. The question is how do I manifest? You manifest not necessarily from the thought, though it's part of it. You literally manifest from understanding the seed of the thought and understanding everything's finished in the thought. So you're seeing as God, by God, through God. And then what happens is it manifests from that place. Meaning when you write it down, you're taking action. Meaning manifestation is an action. It's when you take the seed of the Spirit of the divine God in you and you let it come into co-equal right agreement with the flesh as one reality. Okay, it plants. You plant a seed into dirt. God become flesh. The seed came into the creation manifested it as kind after its kind. That's how we manifest. So the thought gives us the ability to see, gives us the ability to hear. We manifest from that thought and we take action. When you take action, you write things down, right? When you're involved, when you come out of what you see your Father telling you and showing you, and you come out and you use and exercise that thing, you are putting life, you are creating. It comes into the human imagination, it becomes a thought. Somebody writes it down, makes a plan. Now it's already finished on plan before it's ever built in the natural. This is what happens in manifestation. We're planning the structure in our mind, we're making it plain, now it's visible. The idea here is this, it's already done before it's got started. See, and this is the mindset, that we draw the plan out, that we can see it, other people can see it, and then we only do what our Father's doing. And then we build this thing. So it's already built on paper, meaning it's already finished before it ever began in the physical. So now that you take what you see in the spiritual, you take your plans and you put action to them, and you start going, God, how do I steward this? What do I do today to live from this? You're already living from the finished work of the manifestation. Meaning, how does it manifest? It manifests the moment you start living from it, not towards it.